just like developing your own film. Scanning your own film is another giant monkey you may find yourself inviting onto your back just so you could take some pretty pictures. But luckily, you don't have to overcomplicate it. Ultimately, all you're trying to do is get a digital photo of the negative. When I started scanning my own negatives, it was with my phone. I was just taking pictures of the negatives with my phone and then inverting them in Affinity. Doing this works the best with black and white photos because you don't really have to worry about color science. For color photos, it helps to have some help. When I bought my Sony A6600, I thought I was buying it to use it as my main camera, but then I fell in love with film. Is it the best camera for scanning film? No, because there is no best. Sony A6600 cameras have an APS-C sensor, which is smaller than a 35mm frame. Ideally, you would have a sensor larger than the frame you are capturing. That would get you literally all of the detail with minimal distortion. But who needs that kind of accuracy? I don't. When I first got this light box, I used the holder that came with it, but it cropped out the sprocket holes. Sometimes I like to shoot film with my Sprocket Rocket camera, which exposes the film from edge to edge. And if there's one thing I've learned from film photography, it's that it is often better to make a solution than buy a solution. So I made a solution. And another one. And another one. And another one. And another one. Currently, I'm on my 8th film holder solution, and certainly it is the best so far. Construction paper, foam core, gaffer's tape, masking tape, scotch tape, and some reclaimed kitchen magnets. You just have to be smarter than the negative. What is this roll of film I'm scanning, you ask? Well, Linz and I went to Lowell, Michigan, a little town outside of Grand Rapids recently. I was shooting a roll of Reflex Labs 350D. Not that this is the point of this video, but this is respooled Kodak Vision 3 film. This is actually going to be the new cinema film used in Hollywood movies going forward. So I've been excited to see what it looks like and what I can do with it. My camera shows clipping where the photo is overexposed with this zebra pattern. You want the sprocket holes to be clipped because when you invert it, you want those to be absolute black. But you don't want your film to have clipping because that means you're losing detail. So what I typically do is overexpose the negative just a little and then dial it back with either shutter speed or aperture. That I think helps me get as much light going through that frame as possible and getting as much dynamic range out of it as possible. I try to get the camera level with the film. I'll check the focus of the corners of the frame, and if I'm not level, some corners will be sharp and others won't. Then I use a remote to trigger the shutter on my digital camera, and I take photos of each frame. Once I get through scanning the roll of film, I load the files into Lightroom Classic. Not sponsored, by the way. But there are some features in this software that I haven't been able to find elsewhere so far. The main one is using Negative Lab Pro, which at the time of recording this at least, is only available as a plugin in Lightroom Classic. The creator of Negative Lab Pro has recently said they are working on a standalone app. So hopefully by the time you're watching this, maybe they've put one out. Again, not sponsored, but I would absolutely buy a standalone copy of Negative Lab Pro. I've tried other software for color film processing, and I've tried doing it myself manually, converting the negatives, and nothing I've tried so far has come close to what Negative Lab Pro can do. And just because Negative Lab Pro outputs it a certain way doesn't mean that's the way you want it to look in the end. There's a lot of room for creativity during this phase. Don't let your inner evil elf tell you you can't. There's no right or wrong. There's what you like and what you don't like. Sometimes you spend hours on a frame. Sometimes you just put it out as is. Because that's art. And you are a fucking artist.